Your brain doesn't care what's true. It cares what's familiar. So if you grew up believing that you weren't good enough, not smart enough, not worthy, that belief is running the show until you take it back. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to identify and let go of the limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck and rewire your brain for success, freedom, and peace. Because you don't have to live by old stories anymore. Let's start here. What even is a limiting belief? A limiting belief is any story, idea, or assumption you carry that holds you back. Something you believe to be true about yourself, about people, about society. These beliefs are keeping you stuck. And what's crazy is most of the time, these beliefs aren't even yours. They're passed down, they're taught, they're conditioned. You pick them up through experiences, rejection, comparison, trauma, or even from things that weren't modeled to you during childhood. Let me tell you some of my personal beliefs that I've actually had to work through myself. So when I was like 19, 20, that's when I actually got my driver's license, because I had this limiting belief that I was not a good driver, that I couldn't drive, all because I had this really big anxiety with driving. And this is actually way more popular than you think. There's so many people, especially like Gen Z, where people just don't have their driver's license. And eventually I just got to a point where I was tired of being that friend who couldn't go because you didn't have a ride or nobody wanted to pick you up. So like I had to tell myself that actually I can drive. I had to put confidence in myself that I could drive, and I put myself through a really good driving school. And me thinking that, oh my gosh, I'll never learn how to drive, I'll never have my license, I'll never have a car, that was a lie. That belief was not true, because here I am on my second car. It's a 2024. I literally love it so much. And I've had my license now for quite a few years, and I love driving. I love to drive. I used to hate driving so much. And it's all because I was scared, and I was continuously telling myself that I cannot do it. Another one was whenever I was living with my parents and it was just a really unhealthy, toxic situation, I just had this belief that, oh my gosh, I am not going to be able to afford to live I'm not going to be able to afford to live without my parents right now. I'm not going to be able to find a roommate. And guess what? I found a roommate, and I have been living out of my parents' house for quite a while, and it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. I never want to move back with my parents ever, ever, ever. Another big one is that I'm not creative enough to do YouTube. Hello, you're literally watching me right now. And the thing is, all of these beliefs have felt so real at the time. But just because a belief feels real, it doesn't mean it's true. Belief versus truth. This part is key. Belief and truth are not the same thing. So many people all around the world believe so many different things, and yet all of us believe that ours is the truth. You know, ours is the way. A belief is something that you've repeated or you've heard so many times it becomes a default. Your mental programming. But truth doesn't always scream. Sometimes truth is just a whisper beyond the noise, beyond the fear and the doubts. If you don't question your beliefs, they run your life consistently, quietly. So how do we actually reprogram the brain? I'm gonna give you 3 main tools. Number 1, awareness. You can't change what you don't see, what you're not aware of. Start noticing your most frequent thoughts throughout the day, while you're driving, while you're at work. Meditation is also a really good practice for this. Write down those thoughts and ask yourself, is this really true? Number 2, replace the thought. Don't get rid of the old belief. Actually alchemize it, transform it, replace it. What do you want to believe instead? Instead of thinking, oh, I'm not creative, you need to be thinking, I have a unique creative mind and creativity flows through me effortlessly. Instead of believing that you're not a great cook, you need to start thinking, I have the ability to learn how to cook better. Replace the thought of, oh my gosh, I just hate my body and I just feel so unhealthy. Replace it with, you know, I have a beautiful body and I want to treat it with love and respect, so I'm going to go on a walk. I'm going to find some sort of exercise that I love to do. Number 3, repetition and emotion. Rewiring definitely takes time. The brain learns through emotion and repetition. So that's why I personally love affirmations so much. I love affirmations, journaling, visualizing. Another big thing is realizing that not every thought matters. You do not have to give power to every single thought that is in your brain. A thought is just a thought. You don't have to believe every single thing that pops into your head. Some thoughts are literally just fear talking. Sometimes it's just happiness. Sometimes it's lust. Some are your inner child. Some are stories from a version of you that doesn't even exist anymore. Meditation helped me through this so much of like when you just sit there and you're just breathing, and that's the whole point of meditating, is just realizing you're not your thoughts and just letting them pass. Learn to sit and watch your thoughts without following them. Yes, you may take notice of them, but you let them go because you know it's actually not that important. Imagine sitting on the side of the road and just watching the cars pass. That's your thoughts. You don't actually have to open the door and get in the passenger side and go along with them. No, you can just stay on the grass next to the flowers and enjoy the breeze. You always have a choice to believe a thought or not, to give it power or not. Even if you only have $5 in your pocket, stressing yourself, shaming yourself, going into this ball of anxiety is not going to bring you any closer to financial stability. So many of our thoughts are driven by emotion, and our emotions vary from minute to minute. One moment you feel powerful, and then the next moment you're literally questioning your life. This is not a sign that you're failing. This is a sign that you're human, and it's okay. I want you to close your eyes for a second and just visualize the highest version of yourself, the healed version of yourself, whatever version you're wanting to be. What do they believe? How do they carry themselves? And how do they speak about themselves? Picture it and breathe it in. That version of you already exists, and you're just remembering how to become that person. Rewiring your brain isn't just about thoughts. It's about your identity. Who do you believe that you actually are? Do you want different results? You're going to have to shift into a different version of yourself, into a version of yourself that you haven't been before. One who believes in themselves, the one who trusts the process, the one who doesn't quit just because it gets hard or uncomfortable. You're not broken, you're not behind, you're becoming, you're blooming. If this video resonated with you at all, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your story. You are so powerful. Please don't let that old belief keep you from building that future and accomplishing the goals that you have. You are one belief away from building a brand new life. I love y'all. Keep growing. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.